Hello, how is everybody doing? This is Mickey. Today, I would like to continue our conversation of talking about third-party or external applications that we can use within Lightroom's workflow to further enhance our photographs. And what I want to talk about is the mother of all external programs in Lightroom, and of course that's Photoshop. We're going to be talking specifically about the beta version that just came out, Adobe Photoshop Beta version 27.6. Now in this version, this beta version, it gave us a new look at what Adobe is giving us for distraction removal or generative AI remove. And it's a very, very good new feature. And it's so good, I thought, let's just go ahead and cover this in the beta version because it's going to be coming out in production pretty soon, I imagine. But it is such a good feature to use to incorporate in our workflow. I just thought we would cover this today so you can get out there and give it a test and see how much help it can bring into processing your photo. So let's just jump right in. Let me show you what's involved, how we use it, and how we incorporate it into our Lightroom workflow. All right, to get started, we have to make sure we have Photoshop Beta installed on your PC first. So a lot of the subscription plans include Lightroom and Photoshop. If your plan does not include Photoshop, you won't be able to do this. If you do have Photoshop included in your plan and you don't have Photoshop Beta installed, you're just going to go up to your Creative Cloud account and you can click on apps to see what apps you have installed. And if you don't have it installed, it'll show up right here. If you don't see Beta installed, just come up here and type in PS Beta and you'll see it pop up the first entry in your Help Center. Click on that and it'll take you to a place where you can download and get started by installing Photoshop Beta. Now, once it's installed, we have to make sure that we can launch it from Lightroom so we can include it in our workflow. To do that, we want to go up to Lightroom Classic, Preferences. Unless you're on a PC, then you want to go to Edit, and Preferences will be right down in here in this area. Once you launch Preferences, we are going to go to External Editing, and you want to make sure under Photoshop version, it says Photoshop Beta. So that way, when we launch Photoshop from Lightroom in our workflow, it goes into the beta version so we can see these features. Now we do have to check a couple things in settings in Photoshop. We'll take a look at that as soon as we launch into it from our Lightroom workflow. So we're back in Lightroom now. We found the photograph that we want to run through the general distraction or generative AI remove in Photoshop. So we can do it one of two ways. We can come under Photo, Edit in Photoshop, or you can hit Command or Control if you're a PC, E, and that auto launches it, the Photoshop, with the photograph that we have. It also gives us our main layer called our background layer. And if you remember anything that I usually do in Photoshop, because it is a destructive process, I always want to keep my background layer clean. So I hit Command or Control J to make a duplicate layer, and that's the layer we'll start working on. Now, like I said, we do need to check some settings in Photoshop before we start. So we're going to go up under Photoshop or under Edit if you're on a PC and choose Settings. And I usually just start at the first one, General, so I can see everything. And we're going to go down to Image or Performance. And we want to make sure that we have Use Graphics Processor turned on, because this is very graphics and processor intensive, and it really needs that so it can work. All right, so we'll turn that off now that we've saved it. And we're going to be using the removal tool. And the removal tool is the little band-aid you see right here. If you don't see that, click on the bottom and you'll see you have Spot, Remove, Healing, Patch. And we want to make sure you're using the remove tool. When we do that, our taskbar up here changes just a little bit. This is our plus and minus, so we can add or subtract any kind of removal areas that we want. The size of our brush. And then the find distractions are the type of distractions we can now search for. I usually have generative AI on all the time. You can choose any one you want, but I find this works best for me. I want to sample all layers. I don't want to remove after each stroke. What that means, if I have that turned on, if I paint in an area that I want to remove, it immediately goes into the remove action. Before I can click on anything else, and I don't want that. I want it to wait till I either hit the Enter key or the little check mark here so it can apply the changes that I want. I want to create a new layer. And this will become very evident how important this is once we start playing with this. All right, now that we've looked at the basic tools or controls of this tool, let's go ahead and put it to work and see what it can do. First, we're going to go up to the very top where it says Find Distractions, and we're going to click on that little box, and we're going to start out with General Distractions. Now, I find that if we follow it one by one, going through the picture, it works really best by just using this sequence of events. General Distraction, People, Wires, and Cables. All right, so to start out with General Distractions, we're going to hit the Find button. And what Photoshop is going to do is it's going to go out and find anywhere from 1 to 26 different distractions that it wants you to evaluate to see if you want to keep the distraction or you want to remove the distraction. And it color codes it so we know exactly what we're looking at and what we want to keep or what we want to remove. Now, as you can see, it's completed its evaluation and it gives a list of all the things that it found as distractions. And what our job now is to evaluate whether this is a valid distraction or it's something that we want to keep or not keep. So we can turn everything off and on by using the Select All. When something is deselected, that means that it will not be removed when we hit the check mark or the Enter key. If it is selected, then it will be removed from the photograph with the Removal AI by hitting the check mark or by hitting the Enter key. So your job at this point is to evaluate all the pieces parts that have been identified here and say, I do want to keep that or I don't want to keep it. Now, some of these we obviously want to keep. As we go through this, and this is what I usually do, is I deselect everything and I turn each one on and off and see what it is and if I want to keep it or not. So in animals, it looks like it sees this little pigeon here and asked if you want to keep it or not. And I don't want to keep it, so I'm going to keep it turned on. Next is drain elements, and you can see all the rain gutters and stuff. That's a lot. And I think that really is part of the whole architecture, part of the picture, and I don't want to remove it. So I would just leave that off so it's not touched when the AI removal tool runs. Now, just for purposes of a demonstration, I'm not going to turn anything off. We're going to turn it all on so you can see exactly how well this tool works. But it will be up to you to go through each piece and determine that I want to keep it or I don't want to keep it. Once you've made that decision, you can hit the Enter key or you can click on the little checkbox here and the AI removal will remove all these objects that you've left with an overlay on them and give you a final product. All right, so everything is done now and everything that we had left checked with the overlay on it has been removed. Now, if you come over here to the layers pane, you can see it made a separate layer, and that's why we had create a new layer, because when it removed everything, I want to see what it removed based on this layer. So if we turn off the eyeball, we can see what was there and now what wasn't there, what isn't there. So that's done a really good job removing all those gutters. I don't like it removed these, and I will talk about that in a second. But as you can see, it did a really good job at removing. Now let's try these other removal tools, and then we'll go back and look at a little more detail on how we can control a better remove in our features. So the next we're going to go to People, and we're going to hit Find. And it's going to go out. Oh, we turned that layer off. We have to have it on. Find Distractions, People. You can see that it thinks just this person right here should be removed. Now, if you think other people, like let's just say I don't want anybody that has their back to me. I don't want them in the picture. So all I have to do is come up to my little plus mark here, and so I can size my brush with bracket keys if you know that shortcut, and we'll just highlight the person that we don't want here. Now, I don't want this person here because they're kind of cut off. So all I really want to remove is this person right here. If it's somebody that I did want to keep, let's say I do want to keep this person, I can use my minus and give me a minus brush to take it away, or I can keep it on plus, hold my Option key down, and as you can see, when I hold my Option key down, the plus turns into a minus, and I can remove that person by just doing this. So that way it allows me to like override what the removal AI thought was a distraction. Now I want to go ahead and put that back in because I want that person gone. So we have this person identified, and we have this person that I identified manually that I wanted it taken out of the photograph. Once we have that, hit the enter key of the check mark, and then it goes and does the removal of the people. So as you see, as it's completed, it's done a really good job. Remove this person, and now we have the photograph like we want. All right, let's look at the last option, which is wires. It's going to try to hit these wires up here. This one I think probably still needs a little more work. It doesn't give you an option. When you say remove, it goes immediately into identifying and removing. There's no option to say what overlay is over it, or if you want to remove the overlay and keep the wires. It's just a removal. And as you can see, it did a pretty good job. I don't see any wire pieces left along the buildings, nothing in the sky. So that's pretty good. Let's size this back down. Let's hold our Option key and click on the background or the layer number 1. That will turn everything off above it. Option or Alt, press, and it turns everything on, everything off. So this is without the distraction, with the distractions, without the distractions. So it's done a pretty good job of removing everything and giving us a really clear scene. Now, because it can do this, I'm not saying you need to do this, all right? You don't need to remove a lot of these things, but I just wanted to show you the features so you can see what it can do and what it can't do, so you can evaluate on how you want to use it. What I want to talk about now is, what about these removals here? Like this, I didn't want that taken away. So let's reset this picture, and I'll show you how we can modify the masks once we generate them through the removal AI. All right, it brought the picture back to its original form with all the distractions as it was when we first brought it into Photoshop. And we're going to click on Find Distractions. We're going to find our general distractions, have the Gen AI identify all those distractions that we need to evaluate. All right, it's completed its evaluation, and I like everything that it has identified. I've gone through my list here, and I want to keep everything except I do want to get rid of this mask. So I do want to keep this. All this other stuff I want to go away. Now, you'll notice that this is an identified object, and it's kind of this bluish color, but it's also identified some here, here, and here. And I do want to get rid of these areas. I just want to keep this. So I need to remove this mask. So I'm going to click on my minus brush here. And this is a kind of a bug in Photoshop right now. Not all instances of Photoshop beta version will paint away the mask. It just dims it. So as you see me painting it away, it doesn't take it away completely, but it does dim it. And hopefully that bug will be fixed by the final version. I'm sure it will be. So I'm just going to paint away this mask. And all the rest I want to keep. So this identified object is also here, here, and here. So these should go away, but this should stay. So as you can see, it has identified all those distractions to be removed, but it didn't remove these because we had painted away the mask prior to starting the generative AI removal. And if we go over here to our layer and turn it off, you can see all those distractions that are removed, but it didn't touch the umbrellas. Turn it back on, off, and on. So that's just a way for you to manually correct the mask when it is identified in one category, but you only need one piece of that in the category to keep, and you do want the other ones removed. So if we look, the identified objects were here, 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 and here, and when we turn the mask on, you can see those objects are now gone except for our umbrella. All right, let's look at the people mask real quick. It identifies the people, and of course I do want to get rid of this one, but I do want to keep this. And as a side note, notice that it identified the person and the shadow. Really good action by Photoshop. But in any case, I do want to keep this person, so I'm going to hold my Option key down, which turns my plus brush into a minus. Make it a little bigger again. And I just paint over this area that I don't want removed. And hit my plus mark, my check mark at the top to start the action. And as you can see, it's removed this person, but left this person intact. Although it had selected her at first, once we manually removed it, it left her alone as it removed the other distractions. One final thing I want to show you about the tool is that once we have our distractions identified, they're associated with the color. If you don't like the color, or if the colors are too close to each other in elements, all you have to do is hover over the color swatch, click, and it'll bring up the color picker, and you can change the color to whatever color you want. As you can see, we've changed the colors to our drain pipes, so now they're red and they can see a lot better, and they're not kind of mixed in with the animal if there was more animal colors in here. So just a good way to customize your overlays. Even though you don't have control of the opacity, you do have control of the color. And once you have control of the color, you can kind of have control over opacity by choosing how bright you want the color to be. And finally, once you have everything cleaned up, all the distractions just the way you like it, you can send it back into Lightroom by hitting File, Save, or use the shortcut of Command or Control S. As you can see, it saves it right here. Once the save is complete, it'll be available to you in Lightroom. If we go back into Lightroom, you can see we have our photograph right here. Let's highlight both of them and hit the compare. We can see distractions removed with distractions, no distractions. And there you have it. A way you can incorporate the AI removal tool from Photoshop into your Lightroom workflow. Well, I hope this helped everybody out, open some eyes to find a way to move back and forth between Photoshop and Lightroom to use the really great tools that we have in the beta version, but I'm sure it's soon coming to the production version of Photoshop. If anybody has any questions about this, be sure to send me a note and I will get back to you and help you out any way I can. And as usual, I can't wait to talk to you again real soon.